So welcome everybody. It is very early in the morning on the 14th of October, or late in the UK. We have asked Rory Ricord, who is direct sellers in the top 10 income earners. But not only that, Rory owns his own businesses. He's really passionate about retiring families. And Stoya got to meet Rory in NOLA, as did some of the other UK team, which is why I know that they were excited to jump on to tonight's call, because Rory set up systems in place that helps everybody succeed with direct sellers. And I think that's where we've felt a little bit lost. We have some systems in place, and if you're anything like me, I have follow-ups on this. I've got follow-ups on this. I've got names in my phone, and nothing really structured set in place. And so I felt like I was always chasing my tail and not knowing the right way in which to do things. So, Rory's going to walk us through his system and his process, which is called the flow. So Rory, I'm going to hand it over to you. Thank you. You might be on mute. We can't hear you, Rory. Where are you? Rory, can you hear me? Can?
He is unmuted, so.
Yeah. Technology is good when it wants to work.
Anthony, sing us a song while we're waiting.
Some waiting music. Rory, sometimes as you dial in, you have to use internet audio. Did you feel like that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, no, I always have a problem connecting. I go from system to system. I was just on my other conference system, and I knew it'd take a second. So you hear me good?
Yes.
No echoes?
No echoes.
All right, perfect. Are we ready to get started?
We are. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Okay, so I'm hoping everybody, you guys all have access to Ricord.com, the flow and the process. And so what I want to do is go over the stuff that might fill in the gaps from you listening to that and then understanding it. And then the other thing is to hopefully, we're recording this, Christy? Okay. And then I can make this available. This is literally duplication and making it easy to duplicate with everybody. I've taken out all the hard to do stuff, all the salesman stuff, the stuff that people don't like to do, unless you're a car salesman. That stuff's all out of this. And so you just have to understand this is a duplicatable process to do an amazing thing, and that is to share the value of direct sellers. And I'm gonna explain the sales psychology and everything behind what we have, so you can understand why it works the way it does and why we say do it exactly like this, and everybody's gonna do it exactly like this. Success is repeatable. Success is something that you can duplicate, and that's what we have here. And but that being said, you don't know what you don't know. And so I'm going to educate you on what you didn't know before seeing this, so that you understand why we go forward this way. And when you bring people in through this flow and the process, which I'll cover what those are, they're going to learn from being part of that experience. They're going to duplicate faster than you guys are, because they're only going to know that way. And it's going to get easier and easier. And as they get success, and they start talking to the next person following the flow, they're going to start picking up conveyance. And when they convey, that's speaking with conviction, it's going to change everything. And it's going to get down to where if they're striking out 3 times in a row, you're going to know they're missing elements of the flow in the presentation. And that's what we're going to cover today in a very concrete way. And once they get it, oh my God, then they can do this full time. They can do this as much as they want, because this is a matter of how many people they talk to. And we'll talk about that in the process. So I've defined this into two separate areas because they're two separate functions. One is getting the people to talk to. That's the process. Who are we going to talk to? That's the process. Anybody we can talk to, really, but just talking to the right person is always easier. If I have to convince you that you want a plan B, that's sales work. Why would I ever want to do anything salesy? I don't. And let me, I'm going to explain a couple of things and fundamentals that are behind this. And again, you don't know what you don't know. I'm a professional marketer. I've been doing this for a long time and building structures and systems to sell masses of people into a program or product. The sales psychology behind what we have is we've got benefits to share with somebody, and those benefits include the product itself, but also the opportunity that the product creates and the compensation structure and what that creates. That value, that benefit is so amazing, but we also got the downside to it. Okay, so before I go into that, let me just specify two things. Marketing and sales are not the same. Marketing is a unique thing. Marketing has more power. People in marketing that do it right make more money than salespeople, and they should. Marketing is where ascension and understanding and learning. I call it ascension marketing. Everything we do is ascension marketing, whether you realize it or not. No one made a decision today that they didn't already preconceive and set emotionally up before. No one did. Right? No one just. We wake up and we do everything out of emotion. If we didn't have an emotion, we wouldn't get out of bed. There would be no reason to. Right? Whatever you have for lunch, breakfast, dinner, you didn't decide that on a whim. It's something that's been part of a process in your mind to come together. Every decision we make has been an ascension in that. And that being said, marketing has made our minds up for us across multitude of products and everything we deal with every day. To the clothes you're wearing, everything is designed around that. When you understand how marketing is properly done, then you can actually go and market a product or service better. You'll succeed because you understand the sales psychology behind marketing. That being said, a lot of people don't see it that way, and they look at it as a consumer. A consumer, we've all been trained to be a consumer since we were born. Since we were walking around, going with mom to the grocery store, we learned how to consume. Consumption and marketing are derivatives of the other. Without marketing, there wouldn't be consumption, and without consumption, there wouldn't be a need for marketing. But they're not the same. And because of that, we look at, and if you don't know, you look at everything as a consumer. Oh, that looks great to me. Oh, it doesn't look great to me. If I would buy it, someone else would buy it. It's all wrong. People buy for different reasons. It's an emotional need. What's in it for me? And when we marketing is presenting something in a way that the benefits scream out for it. Sales, when done properly, is order taking. Sales is how many do you want? Where am I sending it to you? Not I have to convince you about it, because if I have to convince you about it, I'm now marketing. Okay? So the funny thing about that is when people say, I don't want to do sales, I don't want to be a salesperson, what they're really saying is, I don't want to do all the marketing. Well, that's the tough part. Marketing is the absolute toughest part. That's why they get paid so much. That's why there's so much money spent in the marketing. It's the hardest part. It's what takes somebody from here and puts them to here. Gets them ready for the sales order taking. That's why it's paid so much. Okay. Knowing that, it's also something that is not duplicatable. It is not duplicatable. Not everybody sees marketing in the way that it needs to happen. It's something that can probably be taught, but we don't have time to teach everybody how to go market properly. There's not the time. No one signs up with us and says, okay, I want to learn this, and in 5 years I want to start making money. It doesn't happen. We don't have that time luxury. So we've got to teach this in a way that they can just focus on being order takers, and they got to know how to present things in the proper way to where marketing can kick in and do its thing, and they can become a salesperson taking an order. That's what we have here. So on the marketing part, you guys all have access to this presentation that I created that is done based on my marketing skills and my talents, which is to create the marketing piece, which is a video, It's not done. It's done in a believable way. It's not overproduced, but it handles every objection and does it in a way that they're not going to ask you questions. They're not going to have all these myriad of questions that you have to come up with answers to get them to join us. They're either going to see it and get in or not. They're either going to see it, get in now, or see it and get in when they can get in, or it's not for them. You don't need to go into any explanation and understand objections. If you have to learn how to do objection handling, it's because your marketing department did a very bad job. Well, I've had time to hone in on this, and it's something I'm very good at. It's something I can share with. It's what everybody in my team uses, and we're talking about the same company and the same opportunity. It only made sense to share this with everybody because it's something I can share, and I love to. So here's the thing. If you haven't watched that, watch it. Watch it a couple times. You know, I've had a lot of training, tones, influx, when to pause, how to actually present something. I literally can sell anything and everything to anybody I want. I got natural gifts and I hone that in. That's not duplicatable. However, a recording of that happening is duplicatable and something that we can use as the marketing piece. That's the marketing piece, right? And that's what we have there. So now it comes down to the duplicatable part. Getting a hold of somebody and getting a lead. We'll talk about that. That's the process. The flow is once you have the right person, how to open them up, get them ready for the marketing to kick in, and then take the sell. That's what we're doing, okay? And it's done. A to B, B to C, C to D. And if you don't do it that way, it's going to be hard. You're going to be trying to do something that's really hard, and that's not what we want. I mean, this is an easy, fun process. It should be, you know, where you talk to two people, one's going to come in, the other is going to wish they can come in or kind of figure it all out. And then from here, it's going to come down to how we do follow-up, how we use technology to keep on top of people so that when their timing is right, that work you did, that time you spent with them isn't in vain. They can now become part of your team, and you can process and grow and develop, okay? So the process is where we get access to leads. You know, you can talk to people like, you know, I know a lot of people do social media marketing. You've been taught to do things in an MLM structure, which is you get within a 5-foot radius of me. I'm going to approach you, talk to you, say, I got something to change your life. Do you want to hear about it? I'm not saying you can't do that, but if you do that, just do the flow the same way. Do yourself a favor and do it the same way. Okay. And, you know, so you got the lead, you got someone that you talk to, and maybe you're that person that likes to talk to everybody around you. I can do it. I love people, right? So you can talk to them about it, but you want to present to them the same way as what's in the flow. Once you learn the flow and the proper way this works, it's the easiest way, and it's the most duplicatable way you're going to find to grow this business. I promise you. I promise you, and I prove it out every day. So let's go over more on the process and generating leads, and then we're going to go with the flow. The process to generate leads, I've been doing lead generation for a long time. The thing about this is once you know how to do marketing, you know how to create a way to market and bring people in to find people that are open to creating a business. Once you have people that are open to create a business, we call those business opportunity leads or business seeker leads. Those are the ones we want to probably reach out with. Now, we're going to retell a lot of what our product is because of what it is, but this whole approach is basically going to lead so that they can see the customer side. But, you know, we're going to recruit, and because, you know, we're going to get a lot of customers this way too, because once we get somebody in for the business side and they see the value of what we have, and because you have the product, they'll sign up customers. But what we really need to do is focus on how do we get them to duplicate and focus on what's in it for them across all the priorities, because if we lead with recruiting, we're going to retail. And that's how I do things. If people want to retail, that's fantastic. I support it. I do it too. If I know someone likes wine, I present what we have, but I still do it this way. And that way they can see what it is. They know the whole spectrum, but they also got the answers of why our Wine of the Month Club is better than everything else out there. And I didn't have to talk to them about it for an hour. It's 11 minutes. So everything's going to be that way. Now, on the lead side of the process, we've got access to these BizOp leads, and you can call them. You can, get access to them through your leader. I'm just going to say that way. We're going to streamline it that way because there's a very effective thing that I'm going to share with everybody, and that is leads and the timing of working those leads is something that we can share with our teams as we grow. You got to have new leads all the time to build this full time, and you got to have a cold marketing solution. I don't care what your business is. If you're not acquiring new customers, your business is going to fail. We're all about growth. You got to put new customers in. We don't all keep customers. Sometimes they're no longer interested in what you have as a product. Well, you got to replace new customers, keep the volume of your income coming in. Great. You got to have a cold marketing solution. What I'm going to be opening up to you guys today is a solution that is good for you and everybody you bring in and everybody they bring in. It's literally without end. It's the same process that can work. Now, calling people is one way to start out with it. I like to teach people how to do the flow by teaching them to call out and do that. And then once they get that down, then they can leverage and spend a little bit of money into marketing and systems for marketing. It's not 1980 and it's not 1990 anymore. People do not answer their phones like they used to. We have these amazing smartphones, yet we don't use them as a phone. We use them as a communication device. We try to hide from talking to people on the phones is what we do with them. It's a little bit ironic. That being said, today we answer text messages pretty quick. We're on our text messages more than anything. And so, if you're going to be a smart marketer, you kind of want to be where the eyeballs are, right? Like, if there are going to be other text messages, I want to get into the text messages. And we have a way to do that. It's a system called Scipio. I got it negotiated down to an amazing price of $99 a month. If you guys don't understand the value of this is a commercial product that's sold for $400 to $700 to several $1,000. And, there's a cost to sending SMS the right way. They have to pay a carrier fee to deliver that text message to your phone. We have it all bundled into that one price. That doesn't cover leads. That's just the system. And the thing that's really cool about this is it's completely scalable. Okay. Now, it's completely scalable. Now, the thing that's really cool is this system sends text messages, and those that reply, we set appointments up with, we follow up with those appointments. So it's very time efficient. We are talking about finding people that want to make extra income, that want a system or want a way to make money. That's simple. We do not talk to them about wine. We don't say, do you want to hear about wine? We make it very, very simple. And you'll see in the messages that I have inside the process, that's all they do. Simple A to B. Are you interested in making extra money? That's all I care about. Or do you want a way to make more money? Do you want a different way? Do you want to see something about revenue? That's what we focus on. Simple. Okay. Now, let me talk about the product a little bit before we go into the flow. And this is why we do the process the way that we do. Some of us jumped in this business immediately because we saw the value and we love wine. Made sense. Okay. For me, it's the quickest decision I think I've ever made. I've been in this industry a long time, a lot of products, and there's things that are harder to sell than others. And I would always tell people, like, I like what you have. It's not for me. Yeah, I could blow that up, but it's just not the right thing for me to market. Give me liquor, give me wine, something I really love and people like. I'm all in it. Now, I honestly didn't think it would ever happen. I've been saying it for years. I didn't think that a company would come out with wine in a network marketing company. Honestly, it's always sounded like a brilliant idea. I didn't think anybody would pull it off. Well, okay, look, we got the magic zebra. We got it, right? Heard we had it, pulled over at a gas station, signed up over my phone. I didn't know the comp plan. I didn't know anything about it, right? And I literally found out about the nuts and bolts of it prior to getting my wine. Now, I'm going to go over this because this is how I concluded and figured out a lot of the sales psychology over the past 18 months to create this flow and how we present the way we do. And I know that we don't know what we don't know, so I'm just going to open up and tell you guys why we have it this way. Because when you have an understanding of this, I think it'll help you as, in the marketing side, and then you'll probably see the flow and the presentation style in a different light, okay? I got into it, and then I live in a no-ship state, by the way, probably the worst no-ship state in the U.S., Utah. And I can't have wine shipped to me. I have to literally send it somewhere else. And so I sent it to my sister-in-law because we share the wine love. And anyway, so I sent it to my sister-in-law and to her office, and it literally got there 2 days after she went for a 30-day vacation to Germany. So when she got back, I got my wine promptly. It was like August when I signed up. I got it near my birthday in September the following month, the end of September, and the wine got there. Well, in that time frame, I studied what this was about, was all excited, give me the details, right? Assuming this wine is going to be good, give me the details. And this is being, literally my sponsor's throwing it out at me. And, I've already signed up, but he's just like, tell me all about it. And he's like telling me about the value of the wine. It's only $20 a bottle. And how great this is. And, oh my gosh, you're going to love it. And I'm like, is the wine good? He's like, yeah, the wine's great. I'm like, $20 a bottle. So you have to understand, I'm a wine lover. I've been doing fine wines my entire life. I won't drink cheap wine. I don't even care if it's free. I just have a very good understanding of it. I'm an anomaly. However, $20 for a bottle of wine turned me off. It turned my wife off. It turned me off. In fact, from the time we ordered and we're so excited, I was so excited, and the wine got to my door, I had already talked myself out of the business. I was going to send it back. The box came. It had been somewhat repackaged, so it would get to me. I don't want to talk about that more, but I got the package. I opened it up. I put it inside our sitting room, and it sat there for days. I was going to give it away, toss it. Is it worth sending back? Like one of those decisions. I'm like, did I make this decision? Like stupid, like not even think this out. Like I love wine, but man, I can't represent garbage wine. People know me as, like they would come to my house and have wine that was like $50, $80, $120 a bottle. That's the stuff we've been buying. That was our favorite wines. They weren't $20. In fact, we found very few wines that were $20 we even liked, ever. It was just rare. So we have to, so to us, we'd already talked ourselves out of it. It sat there in the sitting room. My wife literally, she's very, very clean and organized. I don't want to put this in my wine suit. I don't want to put it in the wine room. I don't want to put it anywhere. It's sitting there. I'm literally moments from just taking it to the trash. Someone came by and asked what it is. I say, it's wine. Do you want to take it? I wasn't giving it away. So it's sitting there. We drink wine every night. And we had just finished a bottle the night before. It was time for a new bottle. And I was literally going to go get a bottle from our wine room. And Tanya's like, why don't we try one of those new wines? And what she was really saying was, let's get that box out of the sitting room. Like, let's just open it up, deal with it, get it out of there. I'm tired of looking at it. She's already asking to move it like, I don't know, 6, 10 times. So I'm like, fine. I go open it up. I get wine bottles. Her and I have that look with each other. Like we're pretty much like, we're going to toss this. We know it, right? We're just facing it right now. We're going to try this wine. It's going to be ugly. We're going to dump it down the sink. I literally grabbed 2 wine glasses, opened the bottle up. Actually, I didn't grab the wine bottles yet. I know we had, there was reds. Yeah, anyway, I opened the box up. The first one I opened up, it's a Pinot Noir. And I'm like, great. Just give me a very fragile grape. I know this is, if it's going to be bad, this is going to be a bad wine. I'll tell right away, this is horrible. It's going to be cheap. We're tossing it. So I pour our glasses literally about a ½ inch from the top, not a proper pour. Like I poured it there. So it was quick to throw it on the sink. We're going to toss this. I was already convinced. She was convinced. We were going to look at each other. We're going to laugh about it and toss it down the sink. We took our glasses. We cheered. We're almost ready to laugh about it anyway. We both take a sip. It poured great, had great legs. It smelled great, but it's a $20 bottle of wine. It can't be that good. That's what we're thinking. We taste it. She goes first. She goes, I'm so in. She doesn't do that with anything, right? She likes wine. She says, I'm so in. And I go, we're going to make so much money. And the reason why I said that is because everything that I hoped that this was, which was an affordable way to share fine wine with all my friends, people I know that couldn't afford or justify in their mind $50, $80, $120 a bottle, that they would have that. Well, instantly that's what it was. So clearly we're all in. We've gone gung-ho since, but it was that understanding of where I came from. And then several months later, it took me 18 months to develop the flow based on the understanding. And, we're taught to lead with the product in a lot of things. And a lot of us think that. It's a consumer thing, by the way. Marketing, we don't lead with the product. And guys, I'm just going to just put this out there. It took me a while to understand this, even as a marketing professional, because I was so in love with wine. And that's where the problem was with me. That's where the slow up was. So if you've ever, if you've been trying to market something and you've been trying to do this before and you're having a hard time getting gription and getting things to go, it's not the product that's the problem. It's the presentation that's the problem. And it's understanding who you're marketing to. It's the marketing part. So here's what I figured out after talking to a lot of people and doing a lot of presentations and leading with the product. The second you say wine, we all know what wine is. We see it everywhere. Depending where we're at, it's in every gas station. It's wine is prevalent. It's a big time trending product, which is great to be in the marketplace. But it's competitive, and we have to differentiate ourselves. The other thing about it is most people don't understand what fine wine is. Most people we're talking to may have never had a glass of really good wine. They're drinking the cheap stuff that they have at the grocery store, the things that we call as wine. And so there's an experience that they need to go into, and we got to get around the preconceived notions that they're going to have when you say wine. Okay, I'm going to give you some examples of this just so I can back it up and get your mind to understand this. If you look at the way big things are marketed, they market based on benefit and what's in it for you. Okay, Ford, I like the way they market. I like the way Coca-Cola markets. They don't focus on the product so much as the benefits of what the product has, right? Built Ford tough. They're building the branding on it. They'll talk about more horsepower, more torque in these things, benefits, right? They're not saying, that they focus on the benefits of the product. Anything out there focuses on the benefits. Benefits are what's in it for me. That's all we really care about as a consumer. Well, the issue with leading with wine is they're going to pull up from their knowledge what wine is to them. And they're already going to have a preconceived notion, and they're already going to be putting up walls that you now have to overcome and object to. Where if you can get to a point where you can open them up for a presentation, when the presentation explains that it's wine and why, then they can see it for what it is and see the benefits in it and make a decision based on that without previous biases to seeing the presentation. See, whether they realize it or not, if you say, I got this great wine business, you got to see about it, they're going to be like, oh, another wine sales guy, or, maybe it's like this or it's like that. They're going to have preconceived things that they're going to come up with prior to opening up for it. Where if you can get them in the right mindset and then present the value of what we have, they're going to be a lot more in tune to see what it is. And they're going to be able to see it the way that some of us that saw it, we're going to jump right in for it. So there's a lot more I can cover on the marketing side, but I'm going to sum it up to this. Marketing, the proper way of marketing, no one here has the patience to do. So we're going to have to use sales psychology and a proper setup and presentation to get them ready to see the value of what we have and go forward. That's what the flow is using sales psychology in a presentation format to get them ready to see the presentation, the marketing presentation of what we have, which is the video. And then the sales process is order taking. So this is what it ties in on the flow. Now, the marketing piece is already done. That presentation video, it's done. I analyzed a lot of talking to people what the objections were based on what we have. I honestly know that we've got probably, by far, we got the best Wine of the Month club out there, by far. Values, the 3 and free, the quality we have for the value, it's the best. So I'm convicted about it already. So that's easy. It's getting other people to understand why it's the best and what the value of it is. Hold on one second.
You're still muted, Rory. Sorry. We still can't hear you, Rory. Sorry.
All right, I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So, okay, back to where we're at. So using the flow, we have a way to present with somebody and then get them ready for the marketing presentation and then go to sales or do the order taking. It's really important that we do things in the proper manner. And if you miss any of this or you skip around it, it's not going to work the same. And if we all follow a proven flow, then we can teach everybody how to do it better. So if they strike out 3 times, you know they missed something, and we can coach them up and get them to have success with this. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter whether you're good on the phone or you're good with your voice. If you can do these critical steps in the flow, it's going to succeed for you. Okay, it's going to work for anybody. I prove this literally every day as well. Okay, you know, I've taken people that couldn't enroll somebody into direct sellers, no matter how much they loved wine and how many times they talked to people. They couldn't assign somebody up forever, like a year, 18 months. They couldn't put anybody in. Once you put them in the flow, now they're putting in, you know, literally they put in like 5, 10 a month, steady. You know, I have some that do like 20 full time. You know, I have people that put 3 to 5 in every week doing this because it's an efficiency of time, and it's just learning how this goes. All right, this is a very professional way to market something. In my experiences, I've marketed literally. I swear I've sold about everything. I've created a system to sell everything, or I've consulted on how to sell everything. There's a formula for getting somebody to buy a timeshare presentation or to buy timeshare, a vehicle, used car, new car. There's a proven process or sales psychology behind everything that's done that way in a professional format. That's what we have here. I finally figured. It took me 18 months to figure this out. Okay, and it's really merely the pattern and the organization of how we get somebody ready for it, time into the marketing, and then go from there. So I'm going to walk you through those scenarios. This is all spelled out in the training, in the flow. I do have a video on there that walks you through this as well, but I'm going to just go into it really in depth here, and then we'll open up for some Q&A and make sure you guys really have an understanding. And then this is a matter of doing it. And then if you're doing it and you're not succeeding, you're missing it. You're missing something. Okay, so I'm going to try to break down the components. Again, it's already in this training that you guys have access to, but you know, sometimes hearing it audibly and getting the background behind it's going to help a lot more. As easy as this is, there's a lot of complexities. It's sales science. It's things that you don't know you don't know, and I want to make sure you guys kind of have a little bit more clarity on it. Okay, so here goes. If you got a warm market lead, someone you know, somebody maybe you went to school with, a neighbor, a friend, you already know who they are. You got a rapport with them. What you got to keep in mind is you can't be a king in your own backyard. They're going to see you for what you are before you introduce them to this. They're not going to understand you're in a new business. They're not going to understand you're trying to. They're not going to get that. They're going to see you for who they see you as before, right? You have an image with them, a persona with them, right? You know, maybe you're their hairdresser, maybe you're their next door neighbor, maybe they're going to have that. So even that doesn't matter with this because of the way it's structured. But you still got to build things up the same way. You can't skip. You can't go chintzy on the time necessary to get them ready for the presentation. If you don't do it right, the presentation is not going to work because they will have preconceived notions that will get in the way of it. You got to get them ready. You got to get them understanding what we have as far as the value. And because we're not just selling a product, we're selling an opportunity, and everything that opens up for, you want them open for that. Even if there's somebody you thought was just for the product, because we have such a complete thing with what we have, you don't know. You can't prejudge what they want. They may never say that they want extra money, and they may look affluent, but really they want time free and they want all this other stuff. They don't always tell you that. So you have to assume that everybody is a prospect for what we have in its fullest vision, and that's what we present, the full package of what we have. Okay, so you start out with your warm market a little bit differently than a cold market or a warmed up cold market lead. Some of it, okay, I'll explain that. So if they're your warm market, you already know you don't need to build up rapport the same way, but you still got to follow the same exact details of the flow. Meaning, you want to have at least 3 conversation points in building rapport with them. You don't need to know about their family and what they do for a living if you already know that. Great. You can highlight it, use that as a talking point to go further into it, but you want to get deep down more into what their why is and what, you know, what they're going on. And maybe they haven't expressed to you that they want to make a lot of extra money. You can say, hey, look, I got something amazing I want to show you. It's something I'm extremely proud to be part of, but I want to make sure that you understand, like, maybe make sure you're kind of open to it. And, you know, have you ever looked at, you know, supplementing your income or replacing your income? You know, have you ever looked at, like, you know, find a way that if you could do it right, you could actually have a lot of time freedom and have a lot more income coming in? If I could show you something like that, are you interested? Now, that's a great way to open up with your warm market. There's similar ways to that, right? But once you got the warm market open to that, and if they're not interested in making extra money, they say, oh, no, I'm not. Say, oh, you don't want to waste your time with them. You just want to just say, well, if you do, I got something I would love to show you. Now, this is where I'm going to differentiate from a lot of training you guys get in the network marketing aspect, where, you know, hey, I got something I want you to see. Go check out a video and I'll get back to you. It doesn't work like everybody thinks it does. I'm going to tell you it's not duplicatable. I don't train my people it. I have a very strong conviction as a marketing professional why I don't. And it's because I actually cherish my time. And so I'm going to posture with anybody and say, look, if you ever need a way out, or you want to look for a plan B, or you know somebody that does, I got an amazing thing to show somebody. Just let me know. Period. Let me know. I'm not going to show anybody what it is. I'm going to keep it mysterious, if you will, until I can talk to them and basically do an intake to get to know the person and position them properly for the marketing presentation. This is very important. If you don't do this right, you're going to waste your time. And I don't like to waste my time, so I do it right. I don't want to waste their time, and I sure don't want to waste mine. And when you do this right, you're going to be on with them for 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever it takes for them to be ready to understand it. So if they're ready and they're open to it, okay. Now, that being said, if it's not a warm market lead or someone that I got off of, you know, if you did social media and you say, hey, I got something amazing to show you, you know, if you ever look for a way to make extra money, or, you know, something that might help you to make extra money, or something that you could do part-time to really have some fun with and make some extra money, or whatever you want to say, I got something for you. Let me know when you're ready to discuss it. Preferably have them in front of a computer, okay, or their smartphone. They can play the presentation on the smartphone too. So make sure that's ready, okay? I don't go into it. I want to get to know them first. I do an intake, basically, okay? Once I get to that point where they have an understanding that I'm going to show them an opportunity, I go right into intake mode. And it always starts out the same. It's going to be, you know, there's an introduction step first. So I don't need to introduce myself to somebody I already know, right? I don't need, you know, other than, hey, I got something awesome I found. I think you might like it. Do you have like, you know, if you have a few minutes where I can explain this to you? And then that's fine, okay? If they're a cold market lead and you're calling them, right? If you're calling them directly, like a cold call, we'll call it a cold call, even though they're a lead that said they'd call me. You're calling them, you want to be enthusiastic on that opening. Look at it this way. You're a book, okay? They're going to be looking to read this book based on your cover. Your cover is your opening, right? Your introduction means everything. So you got to be upbeat, happy. You better be convicted that you've got a solution for them, and portray that in your tones. So, you know, I'll be like, you know, hi, Christy, it's Rory, you know, or I go, hi, is Christy there? Christy, it's Rory. I'm going to talk to you like I've known you forever. You're my best friend. I'm excited to show you something. Christy, you fill out some information about, you know, working with somebody to make extra money online. I've got some amazing solution. Are you ready for me to show it to you? Simple, right? I can say it a couple different ways, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to be enthusiastic, and I want to get that. If she says no, oh, no problem. I thought you wanted to see something. You know what? No problem. Get off. If you hear a no, get off. Seriously, make it that easy. You have so many people to talk to. Don't waste your time. Now, the leads that I create and do with, I don't ever get that, right? I get, yeah, what do you got? Or they go into it, and I just go right into, well, hey, before we get started, let me just do an intake, make sure this is kind of a good fit, or, you know, let me just get to know you a little bit. You know, when you fill out the form, or, you know, hey, if I have something to show you, if it's warm market, you know, are you looking to make part-time, full-time money, and kind of supplement income, replace income? What would you like to do if you could find the right solution? What would you like to do? Replace, supplement? Just tell me about it. And then shut up. Listen. Take notes, okay? We use a system that I'm going to talk about called Trello. It's a CRM system. I put notes in that. We teach that. We organize it. It's an efficient tool. But I'm going to take notes. I'm going to really take it down. And I'll even tell them, like, oh, let me put that down. I'm doing an intake. I tell them I do an intake. I use those words, and I'll put those information down. And they might talk about, as they talk about things, I take notes. I let them know, I want to put this down in your file here. I want to really understand and know where I'm going to take you. And I always, it's all, the verbiage is in, the guide of the verbiage is literally in the training. But I like to use things and come from a point of truth all the time. And I say, look, where are we trying to go? If I don't know where we're going, we're not going to get there. And if I don't know where you want to go, I can't help you get there. So where do you want to go? You want to replace your part-time income? You want to replace your full-time income? What does that look like? What do you do currently? I'm still on one topic. We're talking about the why, income why. Okay, we'll call it the income why, not the dream why, not the I want freedom why. I don't want to work for a boss anymore why. We're talking about the money freedom. Those are all things we're going to get to. And I'm going to, jot that down. Okay, so, what's full-time look to you? What do you do now for a living? And, and I'm always complimentary what they do. I don't ever say stuff like, oh, that must suck. Oh, I'd hate to have that job. Never should your tones ever be negative, never be derogatory, never be condescending. They might be happy being a janitor. They might be having a thrill. They just don't have enough money, so they like to still be a janitor, just make extra money. You can't judge for them, and you shouldn't share your biases with them, right? We all have different shoes. We walk in them. So don't ever be negative. And I always say like, oh, great, that must make a lot of money. And they'll say, yeah, it's okay, or it's great. All right. Well, so so if we're trying to supplement that, tell me more about that. Why? Let them go into that. And what does that look like? Is that $500 a week? Is that $1,000 a week? Is that $2,000 a week? Put this down. If they're trying to make $500 a week versus $2,000, obviously we got different workloads we got to talk about. We got different things we got to build up, right? We haven't even gotten to how that's going to happen, but we know we've got a comp plan, a product, a way to build this type of income. So just take it in. We're not going to go there yet. We're just going to take notes in. We want to know what their perception of what they need is. We want to know what their perception, because perception is reality. What is their reality? I need to know where they're at. I need to get as close to being in their shoes as I can so that I can properly get them ready for the presentation. Okay? So I'm going to take intake. What do you do for a living? What does that look like? Is that a lot of time? What else? And if I can help you with that and help you replace that, what are you going to do with the extra money? I mean, what are we trying to do here, right? Dive into that. Okay. If they bring us up about their family, that's a great topic. All right. Oh, how many kids do you have? Great. And you can relate to them, but don't make this about you much. This is about them. You're trying to get to know them. Okay. You're trying to see if this is a person you want to spend time with. This is a person you want to train with, right? In a sense, they're going to be a partner in your business. Get to know them a little bit, right? We don't want drama. I don't want drama. Like, I avoid it. I'll walk away from drama. If I can tell it's going to be a lot of drama, I'm going to walk away, right? So get to know them, right? You're going to ask those questions. Once you build rapport with at least 3 talking points, not 3 questions. You might have 3 questions per talking point to get to isolate that down, right? There's the more you, and whatever time this takes, don't rush to the presentation. If you rush to get on the presentation, you're going to waste your time and theirs. This is the delicate thing. It's a patient process. You've got to get to know them, build rapport with them prior to getting the presentation. And we still have a step or 2 before that. Okay. So I'm going to get to know their whys, get to know what they do, get to know them and where they want to go, right? Financially, and get them to dream a little bit. Okay. So if we can accomplish that now, if we can make $500 a week, like are you going to want to make more? And some people say, oh yeah. I say, okay, well, like, what would your dream income be like? I even ask people, because I believe in a thing called taste, which is, we develop a taste of what makes us happy, what we think our worth is based on income. Not accurate. We're all worth way more than we make. But what is that, right? And, some people, they've never made more than $2,000 a month. And I always have a talk with them and I say, look, you probably can make a lot more than that here. Are you going to be okay with that? Dream a little bit. What would you do with that? You want a better lifestyle? You want a better car? Like, tell me what, we take vacations. Well, I hope you're ready because I'm going to show you how you can get that, right? I'm going to open you up for that. Then I go from that to probably one of the most important elements. They're all important, but this is probably one of the most important elements because if you do it wrong, you're going to leave that sales process open. meaning taking the order is going to take longer. If you do it right, they're going to find a way. And if they don't have money like ready available right now, they're going to find it. They're going to make it happen. If you're hearing things like, oh, this sounds great, I just don't have the money, it's because you didn't do this next step right. If you hear, oh, that sounds really good, but not for me, you didn't do this step right. Okay? If you start getting those things where they can't say it's a bad presentation, they can't say it doesn't make sense, and they just don't go forward, it's because of this. So first and foremost, they're buying into you. The opportunity is amazing. What we're going to show them is amazing, but they're buying into you. The difference that you have to offer, the benefit you have to offer versus somebody else, direct sellers, is what you provide to them, what you do. Okay? So the marketing presentation handles a great job of presenting what's in it for them, the benefits. It does that already, but it doesn't do it for you. You've got to sell you. And I call it self-promotion because you're going to be promoting yourself and your value to them. And if you can't if you can't convey your abilities to them, then you need to get with you need to get the person that you're working with and understand this. What you're offering to them is someone to build with them. You're offering your time and energy to leverage and grow with them. It's a win-win situation. If they make money, you make money. They need to know that. They're not going to just understand it. The reason why I call it self-promotion is if you don't promote it yourself, no one else is going to. You've got to do it. And you've got to do it with conveyance, and you've got to do it strong, and you've got to do it before you put them in the marketing presentation. So you've built rapport. You've covered at least 3 points of conversation. Now you go into self-promotion. So, Christy, I've got something that's going to help you with everything we talked about. I'm really proud to show it to you. And one of the best things about it is it allows me to literally have control in helping you succeed. Because I get to help you build like half your business as you're getting to go. And even as you're training, I get to help you build. Like I get to start working for you right now. And you're going to be learning how this works. And this is before I've even showed you the presentation. I'm not going to talk about wine. I'm just telling you what I do for you with this. What I like best about this is it's a win-win situation. So, Christy, you're going to make money. I'm going to make money. And if you don't, I don't. So I'm in it for you, and I need you to succeed. And I want you to understand that. But what's really good is I can start working for you immediately while you're waiting to get trained and to understand things. Pretty cool, right? I get them to always say, yeah, sounds great. I want them to understand the value I have for them and why the urgency is good and why them getting involved with this before they understand everything fully makes sense today. What makes sense today is I'm working for you today. Now, if you don't realize your work is important, that's where you're offering to help them build. This is a big thing, right? You know, we all want help to build. No one wants to do it by themselves. And no one's going to assume that you're going to help them build. They might just think, if you don't do this, they're going to think that they have to do all this work by themselves. They don't understand the value what you have as a team. I'm here to help you do this, and we've got an amazing team that helps build this, and we got to get going for you. Sell your team, right? Now, maybe you're a standalone. Maybe you don't have upline feeding, right? Some of us don't have an upline that feeds us, right? Great. I'm giving you the ability to put 3 to 5 people in every week. You can be your own upline, and you can build, and you can duplicate, and be the leader that you wanted to have. Fantastic. You got the resources here now, okay? So the thing that's good about it, too, is I'm going to self-proclaim that I'm going to help you. My word is my bond, and the next person I bring in is going to help them, right? Now, I don't explain how I'm going to do that yet. I set that up now, right? So I'm going to self-promote, right? Christy, I think you're going to really like what I'm going to show you. And one of the best parts about it is
Sonny?
I literally get to help you build this business. In fact, I'm going to help you build I get to help build 50% of it for you while you're even getting started in training and learning how to do this. Those are words you should say. Now, I've already got the examples of exactly what to say or a guide of what to say in the flow training. But the self-promotion part, you need to say it with conviction and make sure they understand. Say, does that sound pretty good? And they're like, yeah, you're going to be helping me, right? It's part of a natural sales psychology of give and take. before I've even shown the presentation and before they've seen what they're going to have to cost, all those things, they understand I'm here to help them, and I'm going to be working with them from right now to help them build. That's value that they won't see or assume unless you tell them that it's there. No one's going to assume that you're going to help build them and start building for them right now unless you tell them that. Okay, now I do the self-promotion. Now I get into the video, and this is an important part too. And it's about posture and urgency and importance. So I'm going to say, okay, perfect. I got this presentation for you to see. Are you able to go online, or can you watch the video on your phone? If they can't go online, well, you're on a smartphone right now. Can you watch a video while we talk? Worst case, if they can't, they'll say, okay, I need you to watch this, but I'm going to be standing by. I want you to call me as soon as it's done. Or I'm going to call you in exactly 11 minutes because it'll be done in 11 minutes, right? You get them to Ricord.com. That's the only thing. They go to that page. There's just a presentation. They just watch that presentation, right? 11 minutes. Ideally, and ultimately, every time you really want to have it be this way, you want them to be watching that presentation, and you're going to be on hold. So you tell them, I'm just going to stay here on the phone. I'm going to wait for you to watch that presentation. And as soon as you're done, I'm going to explain exactly how this works. Okay? They watch that presentation. It goes into the whole thing. It handles every objection. It does a great job at explaining to them what the values are that we have. When the video is done, actually, while the video starts playing, the second they're watching that, you have a getting started email that you need to send them. The getting started email has your join link in it. Okay? It's the only thing you got to do during that 11 minutes is send them that email. Okay? Now, during the rest of that 11 minutes, right? You guys are already, by this point, you're probably going to be like me and have the presentation memorized, right? But you're gonna want to do other work, right? If you're doing Scipio, you're going to be responding to people. You're going to be setting up the next appointment. You're going to be multitasking, right? But you're attentive to that person. So as soon as that 11 minutes is over, okay? Now, if you build up the rapport right, and they know you're hanging on, you're their buddy now. You've established relationship and trust. They're not going to hang up during the presentation, and they're going to be buying into it, and you're going to be there to help them, and you're excited about this. And this is where the kicker gets in. We all know what wine is. We see it everywhere. We understand the value of wine. But now that I've built relationship and trust, I've now self-promoted how I'm going to help you build this on a business and help you achieve some goals and dreams that we just talked about and realize together that you want to go. You're watching this video. Now you're going to be seeing it as a vehicle that we see it to get that happening. And I'm here to help you. So then when the video is done, I simply just say, pretty great, right? And then I go into it, self-promotion again of, it talks about the left and the right team. Well, you're going to be part of my right team. And from this moment forward, I'm going to be building for you and building your right team and literally help you build 50% of your business while you're getting trained and being able to do this. So I don't want to wait for you to make money because it's a win-win situation. I want to start building this for you now. So I've already sent you an email. If you could pull that up, it says getting started. Great. And wait for her to get the email. Say, there's some information in there we can talk about, but I want you to just click on that link. It says directsellers.com/ and I use my ID number, so 724, whatever it is. You might have a username. They'll see the link. They say get it. Say click on that, and then I literally walk them through the sign-up process. Now, in that, there's verbiage in the flow on how to do that. Now I put my sales. Now I'm doing sales, which is order taking. I'm not marketing now. I'm doing the sales. I'm taking their order. And part of the process of taking that order is getting them through the challenges of the order. What I mean by that is they're filling out a form. They're becoming a brand partner, possibly, maybe just a customer. Usually this is a brand partner intake. And they're going to be putting some information in there. And you've got to explain things right. People don't know what they don't know. They may have never been in business before. They may not understand some of the questions that are here. So you've got to be a good steward of the sales process, taking the order and walking them through this. And that's what it does, and obviously it's going to vary by country. So make sure you know what you're doing when you're marketing in different countries. The flow is the same no matter where we're doing this. Just some of the details of the sign-up might be different, right? Age, maybe 18, 19, 21 in a lot of places. That's, it's a thing that we cover from the very beginning. If you didn't know that, they're over 21 already. Usually when you get to know what someone's doing, you pretty much can know that they're over that age. But, we walk through those steps. We walk them through the whole sign-up process. Anything that can be a problem, we address. during the walkthrough or the order taking. Okay, for instance, there's a company name field. Well, if they don't have a company, leave a blank. Even though that's simple, you got to state it. You don't want to give any hesitancies. You don't want people to stall out through the order process taking. That your only job as a salesperson is to take the order. Take it. So explain, leave the company blank. Mobile phone number, home phone number are both required. So tell them to put their cell phone number in both. No one has a home phone anymore. Let's specify that. Maybe they do. They're one of the 100 people you'll talk to that has a home phone. Make sure they put both numbers in there. They can't leave one blank. It'll error out, right? Then I have to fill out the rest of their information. When they get down to the username, that confuses people. Sometimes they get stuck on what that even means, or, oh, I got to come up with something. Help them get the username. Mix their last name and a first initial. Maybe they have something cute about them. Maybe if you know them, say, why don't you, go with Roxy. Help them out with that username. Okay, that's a stalling point. That's the point that they might stall out in signing up. We have urgency and purpose. We don't want to stall them out. Help them out with the username, right? A lot of people have it. Some don't. Be ready for it either way. Okay. And say, go ahead and complete the rest of the information. And when you get done, agreeing to the terms and stuff, let me know when you hit continue. It's on the, and wait for them to get that far. Be patient, right? And if they have any questions, you can answer it. During the initial review of the sign up process before they get to their information, I always explain to them, hey, there's 3 VIP. They've already watched the presentation. It explains the 3 and free. I say, we got X amount of VIP positions, whether it's 2 or 3 like we have in the US. 2 bottles, 4 bottles, 6 bottles. It doesn't matter what your customers come in at. I always say it that way. Once you have 3, yours is free. And then I always go into the benefits too, right? We got to self-promote things. So hey, this is a business expense, and I know I get to write it all off. This is all a write-off, including, our monthly purchase because it's required. I get to write that off. Well, literally, Uncle Sam is paying for my wine. But I get my wine for free because I got customers anyway. State it. I totally cover it. 6 bottles of wine for free is 72 bottles a year that we get for free to market an amazing company, an amazing month one of the month club. All these benefits we have, stress it, sell it again. You're not really selling it. You're just self-promoting the benefits they've already heard. You're just influxing it again. Okay. And that's as they're picking it down. And then if I go for the brand partner, I have them go down. And I say, look, we got 2 options to get working with me. One is, the $249 or one's the $299. You can tell them the different things, or $499. Sorry. And explain the benefits. And the truth with me and most of my people that come in, they come in at the $499. They see the value. They see the 40% off of cases. Wine's an amazing gift. I stress the self-promotion and the benefits again, right? And I say, but either one's fine with me. You can always upgrade later, and it's not going to change your benefits and what you get paid either way. But you can always upgrade, and that way I take the pressure off of them, so they can't do the $499. They don't back off, and they do the the $249 or whatever any other option they want to choose really. But those are the 2 options I lead with. Then they hit continue, right? Then I walk them through the process. I walk them through the phone situation, the username situation, make sure they click the bottom, hit continue. And then after they hit continue, a lot of people think that's the submission and they're done. They're not. They got to confirm it again. I say, oh, great. Now just review your information, make sure there's no errors or things to change, and then just go ahead and confirm that again. And then when they're filling out the first thing and they get the username, I get that username and I key it in their Trello card in description. I write DC username, : and I put their username in. I say, great, I need that to help you market. Fantastic. And I say, now I just need your ID number. We'll get that when we complete, and then I'm good to go, right? That's what I say. I'm good to go to marketing as soon as I get the ID number. So they hit submit. I tell them to hit confirm. Don't leave until the order process is done. You're not done until they get that order ID or their customer number, right? You're not done until they get their rep ID, or their brand partner ID, right? So they hit confirm. They confirm their order. Then I get that ID. I key that in, and then I just basically go, awesome. Now I can start working for you, and we'll get you some training and some other stuff to go. Meanwhile, get ready for some amazing wine to get to your door, and I'm going to follow up with you in 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Set an appointment then if you can to follow up with them. You don't want to teach them the flow. You don't want to teach them anything else about what we have here until they have their wine. Let me explain. You're going to be excited to duplicate. You're going to want them going as fast as possible. But until that wine shows up at their door, it's not real. it's not real. And once the wine shows up, it's real. They can taste it. They can get as happy with the product as we are, and it's tangible. Okay, you don't want to duplicate somebody until they are in it and part of the product now, right? So now you want to make sure you follow up with them again if you haven't already. All right, great, you got your wine. Oh my gosh, right? And some of you guys are lined up tasting, whatever you guys are doing that way. Continue to do that. But I always say, have you tried the wine yet? Wow, you got to pair that up. What wines do you have, and what does it say it pairs with? Make sure they're opening it up and engaging in the product. Don't just assume that it's wine. Everybody's going to do that. I've learned this the hard way. A lot of people don't understand wine and food pairings. A lot of them haven't ever done it. It's scary new territory for people. I didn't realize it because I've been doing it since I was 22, but people aren't always like us, right? And so you got to enthrall in that. We drive it to a different thing. We get our partners literally write about it. So we do blogging about it because it ties them into the life of drinking wine with their food and enjoying that lifestyle, right? If you buy a car and don't learn all the assets about it, you're not going to value what the technology and stuff that are in the car. We're being a good steward of the product and delivering it, and make sure they understand the experience the way it's being intended. And then as they get going with that, and they get more and more convicted with the product and the joys of these fine wines blended with the right foods, we're doing a really good job of securing our customer for now and the future. So make sure you're doing that. Then when they're ready, and don't force them, just say, hey, are you ready to start building the business? And here's the thing too, is when you call them in 3 to 5 days, you want to make sure that you're in the mode, and you put somebody in their group, or the team is growing underneath them. You got to make sure that's happening, right? Because if you've got people underneath them in that short period of time to them, right? And we're all building pipelines. I'll go into that some more. But if you've done that, things are even more real, and you've done what you said, and confidence is high. And their process to duplicate is going to happen. They're going to be excited. They're going to probably duplicate quicker than if you had nobody there. Momentum creates momentum. Success creates success. It's a magnet to itself. Just like the lack of success is going to create the lack of success. You get to control this. And if you get this down, you're going to be able to control it by just doing more presentations. Okay, so get them in, and then say, when do you want to start learning it? Then when they're ready to start learning it, you put them into the flow training with the same password everybody got in here with, and you are going to let them learn how to do it, and you're going to coach them up and let them hopefully learn this stuff up there, and you put that time in. Well, they're going to realize how easy it was, because they're going to realize when they go through the flow training, that's exactly what you do with them, and they're going to be going, oh my gosh. And especially your warm market, they'll be going like, that's what they did. And they're gonna start seeing it, and they're gonna be able to do it. Belief is everything. That's what this is all about in that duplication. Okay, so I've detailed that flow out extremely well here, and I'm gonna go over the process and the lead generation side. It's simplicity is best, but just remember, we're not trying to just throw up and try to get somebody to listen to our wine business. We just want to find somebody that's interested in making extra money or looking for a plan B. And if we start with the right leads that are looking for that, that's great. Now we just want to get them on the phone. And, you can text them manually. You can try to contact them. That Scipio service for $99 is worth every penny to me for my time and value. Because if I can just do one more presentation a day, one more a month, it's going to pay for itself. So I drive that out there. Now it's about working with leads. And if you're not to a stage where you want to work with leads yet, you can watch this part later, you review this later, whatever. But I'm going to go into it all here so that it's done. This is one of the missing elements for you leaders, like how we're going to go forward with this. Acquisition costs, as I call it, or the cost to acquire a customer is real, right? McDonald's is spending money to keep your customers even coming back in. So is Walmart. So is Target. So is everybody. Okay? Marketing is real. All right? Cost to market is real. It doesn't just happen for free. Social media, you're trading time. Okay, so those of you that the market on social media, realize you're trading time for that. You've got to post inbox. You've got to do all that stuff. It's time. Okay? Just put it what it is, What I'm going to walk you guys through here is a way for leaders to step up and get going. And then as you're proving this out and creating income, you can invest into more marketing, to invest to grow your business like you would any business. Okay. But also we get the ability, because of how this works, to help others that may not have that marketing budget yet. They may not be able to justify it yet. Okay. So I use Google Docs, and I put the leads in there for people to call and train them how to call from the phone first. As soon as they realize the difficulty that is compared to what I'm doing on Scipio, they usually go Scipio. That being said, you want to get them trained in doing that. And I do that with leads that I've already marketed through Scipio. So I take leads that I buy, put them into Scipio, walk them through the entire campaign. The ones that go through the campaign after a few days that haven't responded, all the responders I've moved within Scipio from the one group to the in Trello group, so that I don't delete them and I don't give them to somebody else. Like if they're in Trello and I'm working with them to do a presentation and I'm in the process of doing a presentation, maybe I'm doing follow-up with them, I don't want my team members to come back and start talking to them. I don't want to confuse them with multiple people. And plus, my time is valuable. I worked to get them this far, but I want to take the leads that I didn't reach, and I want to suck those out, and I'll put them in a Google Doc for them to call, or I'll give them to somebody on my team that can't afford leads yet that has Scipio. Like, here, run these ones out there. Because when they hit them again, they're going to find other people. I'm going to regurgitate that. And if we're all good stewards of the data, we can use the data over and over and over and over and over and over again, literally for years. Okay, just keep organized with it so that we can get the value of that to resonate and come back, the ROI to be smart. Okay, then, obviously, I'll just tell you that, as you're making income from our lucrative compensation plan, you should be applying it towards marketing at some point. You've always got to reinvest in your business, and this is a good place to do that. Now, as we're doing more and more with the leaders, you're building teams up, and this is also a duplicatable process, because as you go from part-time into full-time, you're going to want more and more control of the leads you have coming in and be able to share them down to your group. This just duplicates that process. So I'll put them in the Google Docs. I think that's really good about, Google Docs, we can all share that. I create color codes so I know when they call. I have them insert somebody they do a presentation with in Trello. Trello is the contact management. That's how we keep track of the follow-up and all that. And there's trainings on how to do that inside the process. There's trainings on how to organize and work that, and we'll continue to do that and update that as we need to. But it's all the same thing for all of us. We're all going the same direction. We're all building the same way with the same freaking phenomenal company, right? We all have that. So the lead side is great, and I can. The one thing is I'll go over some temperamental things. Scipio, you don't want to send more than 500 total per day. That's responses, new per day, because carriers have limits. Even though we're paying per message, we pay a flat fee, but they're paying the carrier fee. They still have limits on how many they get per number. They don't want to spam. They don't want to cause a problem for their user base. Hold on one sec. It's right out my mouth. Okay, sorry. Okay, so you're going to want to do no more than that. Well, that being said, the better quality of the lead, the fresher the biz interest, the more responses you're going to get. So, you might work 100 leads and get 5, 10 responses, get those on the phone, do the presentations, great. Get 1 or 2 for that weekend, whatever, great. If you're doing this full time, you're a leader with a lot of people that understand the flow and everything else. You can always dump in, hit 500 people, generate 40, 50 responses, go in Trello, set them all up there, have people ready to do presentations, and share them. Share the presentations. Feed those leads out. Feed those people that are open to talk to somebody. Then let them go do the flow, right? Build a relationship and trust. Get to know them. Build rapport. Then go into self-promotion. Show them the video presentation. Take the order. Feed that, right? I'm striving for 100 presentations a day with my team. I'm going to go for more and more. You start doing 10 a day. You should be doing 20 a day, then 30 a day. This is how we do it. We're duplicating the same process, and it's totally scalable. It's totally scalable. Something I know PJ and I share is the belief, the power of 10, and especially with our compensation structure. Any type of a binary thing is or a team line thing is amazing. And we got a left team and a right team, right? And we build those properly. The unilevel builds as well, right? Our long-term income from the binary or from the unilevel is going to build, right? And we're building things up, and obviously, we're here to get people going, build master sellers, and help them build master sellers, right? And just duplicate and grow. I think we all get that, right? Well, let's put this in perspective on what we have here versus maybe other training you have or other MLM training you may have had. So this is a professional way to market. It's an actual process you would do with professional marketing and professional salespeople. We don't need professionals. We already got a presentation that does it all. I've proven it out. It's done by a professional. We all use the same one. We're selling the same. We're opening people up the same opportunity, the same company, right? Done. The one thing that's going to differentiate is selling yourself, right? And we're going to do it all out the same way. We're all doing that same thing, but that's got to be conviction from you, okay? Taking the order, I've given you a whole outline on how to take the order. That's completely duplicatable, right? Opening, that's duplicatable as well. Be enthusiastic. If you're having a bad day and your tones are bad, don't call anybody. They're going to feel your anxieties, your animosities. Don't share that. I teach a reset, refocus, recommit. It's the triple R's that we call it. That is something that I've lived by, and it's helped me make my millions, and all the money I've made is by having the right mental focus. Reset, refocus, recommit. Well, before I go call and share the vision I have with somebody else, I'm going to make sure my mindset's right. So I'm going to reset, refocus, recommit. And I already got a training on that you guys can go through and understand that. It's going to be some similar stuff you probably heard before. Just get your mind right, all right? If you come at them with a positive attitude in the right place, they're going to be in tune with that and be way more open to listen. If you're having a bad day, you're in a fight with your spouse, or the kids are, really getting on the edge, it's time to tap out and not call. You're not going to get your goals that way, but you're going to waste your time and you might create a really bad presentation for somebody that really needs this, and it's going to be your fault because you were in the right mindset. If you were to work on one of my call floors, I would tell you the same thing. You have a bad attitude today, get the heck out of here. I don't want you wasting money on my leads. It's a reality, okay, on a professional side. So that's why I stress that. You'll see that in my training. I'm giving you guys access to everything and so that you can succeed. I know the details are everything. Okay, being organized in Trello, everything, right? If you don't do follow up and you're not a good steward of the data, you're going to waste money. You're just going to be a bad business person. Why? I've already given you the exact answers how to do it. Trello is free, Free, free. Okay. I have an enterprise edition. I think I spend like $300 a month or a year. For the whole thing for my entire lead company. Okay, it's an incredible system. Scipio does have a cost. Leads do have a cost. I'm going to be sharing my lead access. I got a lead generation company. I've been doing it for a long time, 29 years, generating leads, mainly biz op, people looking for a way to make money, the exact people we want to talk to. Okay. We're going to have access to those in a big way, and we'll share those down. Okay, we'll make those available. The next things on here, and I'm looking different ways to do it. I'm going to go over stuff. The amount of people looking for an opportunity is virtually endless. I've been marketing BizOp for 29 years. 29 years. Do you know I get new people looking for an opportunity every day? There's not one day that people aren't looking for a way to make extra money and get out of what they're in. It's a huge, never saturated marketplace. New people being born all the time, people aging. We're not going to saturate it, okay? It's plentiful. That being said, the right marketing to get in front of them has to be done. And getting access to those type of people in a way that works is what we're going to be adding. That's some amazing value that we're going to have here. Okay. The other thing is you can don't complicate anything, right? As easy as it looks and sounds here, just follow that. Don't complicate it. Don't do the human thing and add any more stuff to it. Don't add to the scripts. Don't throw a bunch more things in there. Don't go down rabbit holes and start talking about football teams and everything else as you're building rapport. Keep it simple and try to keep onto a path of getting to know them, getting to cover 3 points of rapport, right? 3 different topics in that at least three different topics, talking points, right? Several questions each one maybe. Keep that simple, all right? But you'll get better at this. You'll get better and better as you go through it, okay? Self-promotion is really key. I'm just recapping everything. 90% of the problems when people say like, Rory, I talked to 5 people and they're broke, they don't have the money to come in, it's because they didn't self-promote. It might be uncomfortable at first, but let me, and this is going to go into the some philosophies here. If you didn't see the value in this program, you wouldn't be here. And you see the value of the program, we're trying to get someone else to see the value of the program. You got to do that with conviction. Because you're here, because you're convicted to do this. So you should promote that, because they're not, you can't assume that they see what you see, because they don't. No one sees exactly the same thing. And in order for them to see that, you've got to outline it and sell yourself. Get comfortable with that. You should be comfortable with that. And I'll tell you, when they start signing up and you start seeing how it goes, it's just going to get easier, and you're going to feel a lot better about it, because now you've enabled somebody to change their life. You've given them the tools to do it that they may not have had another way. You know, not everybody understands marketing, leads, how that works. No one wants to do like a phone presentation. Well, when they realize you just did that with them and did this process, I promise you it gets easier and easier, and it gets faster in the duplication. In traditional network marketing, belly to belly, the way that I always thought the old way, because that's what they taught in the 80s and the 90s. I was around, I saw it. And it was before the internet, before technologies that we have today. It made sense. You had to get people in the meeting room. You had to talk to people that way. Well, we've got technology to get people in front of us fast. We got ways to do that. We got like the Scipio system that can contact somebody once, through text. They respond, I'm ready now. Great, use this, right? We get them on the phone. We build the stuff right. We use sales psychology to build relationship and trust. Self-promotion, get them ready to hear this as an answer. They hear the answer, we put them in, okay? Everything I'm covering are things you could probably hear in the different trainings. The difference is, though, is this can move faster. And the faster we move, the more effective we are in creating a solid business versus a hobby. In the traditional old ways, 2 to 3 people a month. If you recruit 2 to 3 people a month, you are literally a rock star. I've been in companies where I received amazing recognition for being consistent with 2 to 3 people each and every month. Great. That's not a business typically that's going to pay the bills. Eventually, it grows. You guys, I don't know if you understand the genius behind the compensation structure we have. We literally have something that we can create full-time income with. $125 and $250 a pop. Bring 1 person, 2 people in a day. You're making full-time money. And I've had a lot of people that are seeing this. That's probably more money than you make now. And we have that right here. We don't have to do anything special, but other than what's here and explain it to people, right? Get them to see the vision we see. And then on top of that, we get to duplicate that with them. And because of the compensation plan, the more they make, the more we make. Holy crap, right? So we want to duplicate as fast as we can. If people take 2 to 3, if you put 2 to 3 people in a month, the odds are half of them are going to do that in a month. And then that in a month, right? But if you can put 3 to 5, let's call it 2 to 3 a week. Okay? If you can put 2 to 3 a week in, right? I'm already 4 times faster than 2 to 3 a month. But it's not just 4 times faster, it's exponentially faster. Because if I take it from 1 month to 1 week, that's going to be that much faster for everybody else. They'll be able to process, learn, and duplicate, faster as well. So the time expectancy just increases. The more time we waste in duplicating, or the longer we take to duplicate, the longer it's going to take to get to that next level. The longer it's going to take this vehicle and use it for what it can do for us. The quicker, the quicker. Well, we got the quickest way possible that I've been able to put together, because I can't get somebody ready this fast unless I have a one-on-one talk with them. This isn't something that's the best in a group setting, because we all have different whys and different directions and different issues. That's got to be a personal thing. I got to really tune in with you and get to know you. I'm able to process it quicker. Group settings doesn't work the same. Doesn't. We do group calls after, like people that are on the fence and people that are brand new. We definitely put them in there. Get them in your culture. Absolutely get them in your culture. Get them in the teams, right? Get them in that. But then you've given them a vehicle that they can go talk to. And here's the other thing. With what I've given you guys here, you don't need to go to your warm market. You don't have to. You can market your warm market the same way you would market any business you had. They hear what you have. They see what it is. They're like, oh, I want that. Perfect. I don't need to go force it onto somebody. I don't need to have them have the preconceived notions or, the different things. One of the biggest responses you get with a financial situation with a family member or a warm market, right, is, well, how's it going for you? Well, when you succeed, let me know. Then I'll do it with you. Well, they obviously know that you're not going to succeed unless you enroll people and grow. They get that. So it's an easy out for them. Those objections I never get, and I will never get, because I already have a cold marketing solution. So when I talk to them, I'm already successful. The number one objection that the warm market can give you no longer exists. It no longer exists. And when the objection doesn't exist, it's irrelevant. Now I can focus on the actual thing of, we've got an amazing opportunity. Let me show you the vision. Get in with us, right? That's what we have. So that being said, when you talk to your warm market as you have success and your stuff is growing, it's a lot easier to say, oh my gosh, I found something amazing. You're not going to believe it. You got to see this. When can I talk to you about it? Right? Great. Right now. Okay. Look, it's a complete it's a complete process and flow that allows anybody to make the money that they want to make and get that time freedom. Like you're still working at whatever job, right? Are you liking it? Okay. Is it making enough money? Are you getting enough vacation time? Go after, like, what we call, go find the pain. What do you not have that you want to make your life better? Okay, well, I have a vehicle to get you there. You want to see it? Oh my gosh, you're going to love this. Okay, now here's the thing. I literally get to help you build it. So from the time we get started, I literally start building half your business for you, right? I get to self-promote. Same way, same exact way. Okay, and I tell them that, and it's happening for me, it's going to happen for you. Let me show you how this works. Okay, then I get them in the presentation. They get them, pretty great, right? Let's get to work. I already sent you an email. Let's get you in. I'm going to start working on this, and then as you're getting trained, don't worry, I'm already building for you. That's it. That's how we walk into it. Keep it that simple, that enthusiastic, or more than that if you can, right? Be you. That's the biggest thing out to everybody is be them. I call it a script guide. This is the verbiage I use. You're not me. You don't like the way I say it? You know what I'm trying to say. Say it your way. Make it you. The more natural it is, the better it is anyway. If you have to read it out, practice with a spouse, practice with somebody until you're not sounding like you're reading it. It should be something you get down to it to your own science and your own boom, boom, boom. You got the steps down. This isn't hard. Don't make it hard. Repetition is the mother of all learning. Repeat, repeat, repeat. You'll get it down. The lead systems, you got training on it all. It is as great as it sounds. This Scipio system is a major breaking point in getting a hold of people and getting them on the phones. You don't want to be sending things over an email. Let's check this out. No. Everything I told you, don't differentiate from. Don't send an email out. Don't send them an instant message to go see this video. No. It's the sales psychology is being on the phone and getting to know them, building a relationship and trust. We are speeding up the natural process of ascension so that their mind is open for the presentation to then take the sales order. I cannot stress to you guys the importance of how this is built. Okay? These are things that us marketing professionals understand and know and would do a coy job of creating this for a client without explaining why it worked the same way. So then when it didn't work, they're like, oh, wow, you must be a genius. No, we understand the sales psychology. The genius is understanding what it takes to get somebody to tick away and open up to what we have. Okay? Marketing is absolute, for lack of a better word, it's absolute manipulation. You guys, there's a thing called the law of awareness. Okay? I'm going to open up your mind to how marketing works. Do you guys realize that we don't have a whole lot of our own thoughts and concerns? We are marketed to so heavily. Every one of our decisions is pretty much controlled by something we've seen or been inundated with for years. It's how it goes. Okay? We're wired a certain way. And people that understand that tapped into it and started marketing that way a long time ago to us. Okay? this is how it goes. So we're using that same sales psychology to get people to open up to see the vision that we saw and what brought us into direct sellers in the first place. And now we get to share that with others. That's what we're doing. A lot of people look at how I build it. I was, man, you just have this such. No, I just have an understanding. You don't know what you don't know. I just learned how marketing worked a long, long time ago, and I've been able to tap into that over and over and over again. And now I've just shared it with you. I'm good for now. You can stop the recording. Thank you.